Hello, hello, hello. All right. So today I wanted to go over how I mod in Skyrim. Yes, Skyrim. Um, Mods are a big part of what keeps me coming back to Skyrim and makes every time I come through a little bit different. I think it's just one of the most exciting things any game can have is to have such an active community that it is just constantly extending the look, the feel, the quest, the the spells, everything. Like Skyrim can be so many different games. So, but to mod can be a bit painful, especially if you just log in and start downloading mods. Um, so it's been a learning process for me. At my peak now, I've gotten 156 mods running without trouble. And that's just because that was all the mods I wanted. I'm sure I could go past that. Initially, I did have some crashes, and then I learned these very basic techniques. There's nothing new here I'm teaching. This is just the minimal I needed to know to get my mods working. So, first off, you should know that there's two places to get mods for Skyrim. There's the Nexus, and there's the Steam Workshop. Nexus is definitely got a more active community, has more mods, is just all around probably considered by the modding community a much better place. I own the game through Skyrim. I am comfortable with the workshop, so I've done all mine through the workshop. And that's the method I'm going to show you. It uses pretty much all the same tools that you would with Nexus. It just happens to be that I start the initial seeding of the mod from Steam itself. And I've only, other than maybe two mods, not had an issue where I couldn't find the mod I was looking for. So first off, you want a mod, you're going to do it through Steam. Then after you've got the game installed and run through once just to get the graphic settings and whatnot, go to the workshop and select your mods. Now, the only thing I'd say is, obviously, there is more mods than you could ever run. I mean, even if you follow every practice, at some point you're going to run into either the limits of the Skyrim engine or your own machine. So I find from my personal use that 100 mods is the ideal spot where I notice no lag in game, no lag with my machine, and I can have everything running perfectly. While I had no trouble with 160, I just kind of felt like it was just a hair unstable and a little bit slower. So to each their own, but I'd start off maybe doing mods in chunks of 20, and I would be selective of, hey, what is it I'm trying to get this playthrough? Sometimes I'm looking just for environmental enhancements like new high def graphics and weather and more things to hunt. Excuse me. Or, this run through right now, what I'm doing is mostly spells. I've downloaded almost every spell mod. So pick and choose what it is you're interested in. Download those by coming here, finding the mod, and just simply subscribe. Now, the only other thing that I would suggest, but this is personal preference again, is when you are looking at mods and searching, I'm a big believer in doing only what was popular in the last 6 months to 1 year. That way it's been around long enough that people actually had a chance to form an opinion, which I don't think you get with 3 months or less. But it's also new enough that it should integrate pretty well with the latest Skyrim build and probably plays better with some of the newer mods. If I don't go with that, I'll go with the top rated and the most subscribed. But that's, again, personal preference. So you've downloaded the mods. Oh, and when you click on one, you'll see briefly the little blue bar going that it's downloading. Let it complete before you go and select your next mod. It's not necessary, but I found times that they get queued up and then whatever happens, you've closed the game out and it never finishes downloading the other one. And then you've got these mods that looks like they're installed, but they're never running correctly. Or you'll see in the loader, if you're watching, that they actually get skipped. So just do that, and you won't have that problem. So after you've downloaded all your mods, you'll go to your launcher in Steam, and you'll hit play. I already did this because this takes a while. The more mods you had, the longer it takes to check. So I already did it, because what you'll see here is it'll check each mod, and if you think you're having trouble with the mod, then you'll want to sit here and watch. It'll go through every mod you have. Like at this point, I have 99 mods. So that's why I already loaded it. So once it's finished loading, it says finish synchronizing, you want to go to data files. Don't worry about whether it says subscribed here. What you want to worry about is that every mod that you're concerned about is checked. So if they're all checked, and when you first download a mod or two, you'll see that they're usually at the bottom and they're usually unchecked. So you'd come in here, check them, and you hit OK. At that point, you're done. That's all it takes to add a mod. While I'm here, I'm going to go over how you'd get rid of a mod, which is that I would not bother going to the workshop and unsubscribing. I would come here, I'd load it up, go to data files, and I won't bother unchecking either. You just want to pick the mod you're interested in and do delete selected. And it should make sure it says the add-on you're interested in deleting. I'm going to hit no because I don't want to delete it. What it'll do is then prompt you, do you want to unsubscribe from the workshop? You say yes. What this will do all in one swoop is it'll delete all the content, it'll unselect it from your load, and it'll unsubscribe you. Otherwise, you'll have to come do this anyways. If you go and unsubscribe from the workshop, you'll still need to load up and do this. So I find it just easier. Go ahead and do this, and then you know you've gotten everything in one shot. Once you've deleted it, you hit OK, you're done. That is all we ever do with the launcher, the original launcher. So then we'd close the launcher out, and we have a couple more tools we'll use. So the first tool that we use is a tool called Loot. I will put into the description the links to every tool that I use here. There's only a couple. So what Loot is it's a tool whose main goal is to make sure that all your add-ons are playing nicely and that they're in the right order. So first thing you want to do, and I already did it, is you want to update your master list. So what happens is there's a lot of wonderful modders out there keeping track of what order these mods need to load in so that they don't conflict with each other and they play nicely. So by downloading this master list and then doing sort plugins, it will sort the order with which Skyrim loads its mods and plays nicely. So the thing is, and I don't have any warnings here, is it will also tell you if you've got issues with any of your mods. It's caught all of them for me so far, so wouldn't worry about just normal messages. All you really want to watch for is warnings, errors. And if you have those, you'll see that you have dirty plugins. So if you had a warning or error, you would scroll down and you'd see a yellow bar explaining what the error is. Like this, okay, this one does have actually just something that can't be fixed though. Some mesh records that can't be repaired automatically. But because these are harmless, I leave them. But if it's something that needs to be fixed, you'll see a yellow bar. And what I'll typically do is leave this open because I want to remember the name of the mod, and then I'll go fix it. So I'm going to hit apply. Once you've sorted, you always want to hit apply, and now that's the order that Skyrim will launch in. So let's just pretend I had a broken mod. I don't have one. I'm not going to go trying to hunt the workshop to find one that breaks on me. The next tool you use is one called TES 5Edit or TES 5Edit. And when it first comes in here, they'll all be selected. You always want to right click, select none. Again, always select none. And then your very first time in here, you want to select just Skyrim and update and click OK and wait for it to load. And this process will be the same across all mods every time. So I'm going to show you this once. I won't have anything to save because my mods are clean, but the process is the same. So the very first time you'll want to do Skyrim and update. When I say first time, I mean just the very first time you install the game. It probably won't ever be an issue again. Then you'll right click and you'll do remove, First, you'll right click and do apply filter for cleaning. It takes a moment. Don't worry about the colors, because they'll be all different colors when you have problems. But the process is always, so you apply the filter for cleaning, and then you want to remove identical to master records. It'll make sure that you really want to do this. You'll see that I have no records here that are being changed. It's because this is clean already. First time you do this, update will not be clean. And you want to undelete and disable references. Again, there's a lot more you can do here. I'm just going over the basics of being able to get a bunch of mods running. So that's it. You then would X out, and as if you've actually had a change, you'd be prompted to save the add-on that you're working on. If you see anything other than the add-on that you expected to be there, do not save. Just close it out and start over again. You did something wrong. Never, ever alter these two. The two Skyrims, that's your base game. You will break your game. Don't do it. So the very first time you come through, do the update. So we're done. We didn't get prompted to save because, again, there was nothing to save. So now that you've got that, how you would do each one of your add-ons, and this is kind of painful the first time if you're doing as many add-ons as I'm doing, is you'd come through, you'd select Skyrim and Update, and you'd select the add-on that you're fixing. You hit OK. Comes through. And then it'll also bring in anything else it needs to. In this case, it didn't need to bring in anything else. But if it's like, say, needs Dawn Guard, you'll see Dawn Guard in here too. Not a problem. And actually, the first time you clean through, you're basically going to do Skyrim Update Dawn Guard, Skyrim Update Patch, and work your way up. And it'll take a long time the very first time. But afterwards, it's just a very clean process of just your latest add-on. So you bring it up like this, right-click, and same process, remove, oh, I keep one of the apply filter for cleaning. And remove identical records, yes. Undelete and disable references. That's it. Close. And we're not going to be prompted because, again, but you'll be prompted to save that one add-on. Say yes, that's it. When you're done, you rerun loot, and the error that you were seeing before should be gone. And that's it. That once you get down to zero errors and warnings and dirty plugins, you're good to go. And really, the sky's the limit. I mean, I've heard of people running 250 mods. So again, can't run them all, but you can run plenty, enough to make the game nothing like you remember. Oh man, sorry. So lastly, we will launch the game using SKSE. It just extends the API that the mods can connect to interface with Skyrim. A lot of the mods out there have it as a requirement. So I highly suggest doing this. Once you've installed it, let it put a shortcut on your desktop, and this is how you will launch Skyrim from now on. And that's it. That is how I do my modding. So I hope that's a help to somebody out there. And happy playing. I'm out.